Sure.
So a trauma happens.
Right.
I witness or participate in the trauma.
Okay.
One of the first things that I do is I breathe in
Mm-hmm.
in that kind of violent manner.
Mm.
Between that inhale that's violent and the what that I've been exposed to and how my body, my nervous system is going to react to it, what happens is that my diaphragm, main breathing muscle down here,
Right.
shuts off.
Oh. Okay.
Now, why don't we notice something so dramatic? Answer:
Mm-hmm.
there are 5 muscles that turn
Okay.
on
Uh-huh.
automatically.
Okay.
We never miss a beat. We
Like,
never know
what are those
that
5 muscles?
those muscles are called the upper division trapezius,
Mm-hmm.
sternocleidomastoid, scalenes, levator
Mm-hmm.
scapula, and pec minor.
Okay.
Those 5 muscles, small muscles though they are, produce at least 60 symptoms that we have documented.
Wow.
And many of them are pain syndromes.
Pain.
And the
Mm-hmm.
problem is that these, if you could see that list of diagnoses,
Uh-huh.
you would know, even doctors would know, that people are getting treated for that they think the cause is something else. It's just an accessory breather that's overworked.
Okay.
Now, this produces a lot of pain, but what I really want to get into is talking more about civilian PTSD.
Okay.
So what happens is the diaphragm shuts off automatically. What must happen? There's no exceptions to this rule. Once the diaphragm shuts off, you have to hyperventilate.
Mm-hmm.
That's breathing faster than normal. That's what that means.
Okay.
Hyper means above normal.
Right.
Ventilate is to ventilate your lungs.
Uh-huh.
So this again is subtle at the
Okay.
time, so the person doesn't notice this either. And it's below the thresholds that we would say, medically speaking, or is hyperventilation. Of course, that does happen. But so now that hyperventilation is going, the third step is that the system starts to become too hypoxic over time. And it
Mm.
takes a little bit of time. At the same time, the person is going to start losing their sleep quality
Mm. Okay.
and their
That
sleep
makes sense.
quantity.
Yeah.
It starts to erode away. Now I can't repair or recover from the daily stresses, let alone this big stress.
Mm. Okay.
The next stage is what I call a trigger master.
Okay.
And once a person gets to this stage, say a year into the timeline after the original trauma,
Right.
they're going to be really caught. They're going to be really stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to try to resolve these issues, and they're going to think that they're mental. And I'm here to say that these issues, if you take a look at the physiology of the body, you will
Uh-huh.
see the physiology of the body has by far gone south much worse than all of the things that are happening with the mind. And I know that's hard for people to hear, and it's heresy to some.
Mm-hmm.
But when you resolve the breathing issue and the sleep issue and the body
Mm-hmm.
pain issue, guess what? PTSD goes away.
So no, in our understanding for most of the people, when all those things happen, like sleeping,
Hmm.
they will seeking doctor, and the doctor will prescribe them medications,
Yes.
right? I'm not a big fan of medication or vaccines.
Mm.
So, but from your perspective, we don't need to heal by taking those medications or some sort of chemical pills, right?
Well, I think that there's a reasonable time for medications to be used and then an unreasonable time. And I think
Right.
that you're speaking mostly to the unreasonable.
Uh-huh.
A lot of times, medications provide a stopgap measure and buy a person time, like sleep, for
Okay.
example.
Yeah.
Let's say that immediately after the trauma, the person cannot sleep at all.
Mm.
Okay, that, if that's a fact, that is far more deleterious to the person's health than any
Right.
medication would ever be. Because we know that 3 days of no sleep, you will start to show signs of insanity.
Yeah.
And in fact, this is something that is done in basic training to this day
Mm-hmm.
in 4 of the branches of the military. They
Okay.
keep you awake for 3 days, and they make you see what happens to
Oh my
yourself
God.
and other people.
Uh-huh.
People are running around, and they're putting their bullets backwards in their gun. I mean, it is absolute chaos and mayhem.
Uh-huh.
But the soldiers are exposed to this, so they know what to do, what to expect. Because
Mm-hmm.
if this happens in battle, it could be it could be death to
Right.
everyone. So
Yes.
it's important that the structure, the hierarchical structure, that the people in charge are saying, look, you got to rest, you got to go
Right.
put your head down. Even though there's bombs going off, it doesn't matter. They're going to manage that. Sleep is so critical that there isn't anything that can substitute for it. And this is also true about sleep, is that when you are asleep, the brain is actually cleaning itself out.
Yeah, I heard this like when a person is sleeping, actually the brain is more active than we're awake, right?
Yeah, so the brain is definitely active in sleep, and
Uh-huh.
it's what it's doing in terms of memory and all that is it's deciding what memories am I going to keep, what
Oh,
memories am I going to I'm going to put it in a hold box for a little while, think about what I need to do, and then what other memories I need to just throw away.
yeah, like a computer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, very similar to our brain. So then um, something called homeostasis. This is your body's ability uh, come in for a landing, I like to call it.
Yeah.
If you get really excited, your body will automatically see to it that you come down.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes you'll come down fast, sometimes you'll come down slow. Also, your body's ability to ramp up into higher states of energy.
Mhm.
These are all part of that homeostasis. And something very interesting about homeostasis is it's part program and part hardware.
Uh-huh.
So, software and hardware.
Right.
And the hardware are sensors throughout the body.
Yes.
And there's a very interesting thing about homeostasis, and that's that it has a unique one-off communication channel with the brain.
Uh-huh.
When the brain gets a message on this special channel,
Okay.
the brain automatically knows that there's something wrong in the homeostasis department.
Wow.
So it's like a secret code, you see.
I see.
It's not the same as, if my knee bothers me, it sends a signal. It's on
Right.
a unique channel. So the brain is alerted right away when there's something wrong. So
Mhm.
the hardware and the software of homeostasis, this is your body's innate intelligence to do the right thing in reacting to situations properly.
Mhm.
Those hardware and software elements get injured
Right.
and they stop functioning.
Yeah.
So what you have is a milieu of I can't sleep, I can't recover, which affects
Mhm.
mood and cognition.
Right.
I'm stressed out all the time. I get no rest or reprieve from my stress.
Mhm.
I'm having flashbacks about the event that was the trauma.
Mhm.
Um, and so all of this adds up to, like I said, on that fourth stage,
Yes.
there's 7 stages. Um, it adds up to like a wall, you could say.
Okay.
And what's happening is that at this point in time,
Uh-huh.
people will try and they'll resolve it. Let's say chronic pain is one of the bricks in the wall. Well, let's say they're successful at it. Guess what? The wall still stands.
Mhm.
We call this intractable in medicine.
Okay.
That it's very difficult to resolve. What I found that if you approach it from a purely physical and physiology standpoint,
Mhm.
what you see is that the most important thing to human life
Mhm.
by far is the acquisition and delivery of oxygen.
Okay. Yes.
Oxygen is king.
Right.
If you can't do that one thing, every single thing, every other symptom is downstream to that problem.
Okay.
I
Right.
cannot see any scientific viewpoint that says that that's not so.
Mhm.